Hello, everybody out in Facebook land. We're about to do the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, Mayor of Hounds, USA. This is my associate, my assistant, the professor. We're obviously joined by Canito. The wonderful Danielle is the videographer today. Brian's in there somewhere. He's inside. There he is. There's Brian. We got the whole crew here today. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to go on the radio in about 7 minutes or so. About 5 minutes. And we're going to talk about Canito. We're going to talk about our exploits. I just came back from a whirlwind franchisee tour to Nashville, Atlanta, Detroit. Had a great time, met all of our wonderful franchisees. I went out to dinner with Dave and Zena from Nashville. They told me about the show. They watch it or listen, and I ramble on. I don't answer questions. I start off with good. Yeah, they're honest. I appreciate that. I appreciate their honesty. So the point of a co-host is to steer me and answer the question. So I can't just ramble. That's my problem. So Ashley's going to help me with that tonight. We're going to talk about Canito. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, if you stay with us, we're going to do what I call some urban agility with Canito. Canito's an urban dog. He came from San Juan, the streets of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Maybe he's not urban, but the point of the matter is, what we're going to demonstrate, I hope, is how you can do agility. You don't have to do big things. We have agility. The railroad stations are agility courses. The airport here we're in, it has a wonderful agility course. And we'll tell you what we mean by that. So we're excited about that. I don't know what else we're going to talk about. You're going to steer me in the right direction today? Yeah. We're going to talk about why dogs bite people, how to shape, it's easier to shape behavior than go back and rehabilitate behavior, right? So if you have a 4-month-old puppy, I got a lot of calls this week from people with 4-month-old puppies. And that's like the ideal time to begin to shape behavior, meaning it's simple. Just teach boundaries. If you don't want them on the couch, don't let them on the couch at 4 months old. They won't go on the couch when they're 4 years old, right? Yeah. So remind me, we got to talk about this on the radio. All right, so anybody, we have all our 2 fans out there in Facebook land.
It's just one.
Is Jackie listening?
I'm pretty sure.
Who? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, folks. We're going to go on this. If you have Facebook, you should be watching.
Oh, I have the comments off.
What's that?
Nothing. There we go.
We have a remote director and producer critic, Jackie Bondanza, should be chiming in here and there. So yeah, I had fun with the franchisees. You know, Detroit is going to be up and running soon. Our friend Pete from Detroit, really good area. Atlanta, Nashville, a lot of fun. Great dinner with Dave and Zena. So Pittsburgh is opening up. They started their demo work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting things happen. So let's start. We're going to get this radio show going. Is everything good over there, Danielle?
Yep. Very good.
We're good. Who are you texting, Steve?
No, I'm checking. Look, I'm checking to make the Facebook Live good.
Oh, good.
Over here.
Oh.
A lot happening.
Jackie's watching.
How do you know?
Because she wrote Canito.
Oh, Steve's laying down
and he's
already.
sleeping already.
You got 1 minute.
The island, the oceans, the waves, and the island. We're going to talk about that too, okay?
I don't know what that is, so.
All right, I'll explain. Well, dogs don't build... never mind. That's for another topic.
Hat looks good, actually.
Oh, does my hat look good?
What? I don't feed them too much, Jesus. I think we'll bring Rosie on next week.
All right. That sounds good to me.
10 seconds.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Do you wish you knew what your dog was thinking? You're in the right place. Hounds USA presents The Dish on Dogs.
Welcome everybody to The Dish on Dogs, the show about dog behavior, the animal brain versus the human brain, the mammalian brain versus the neocortex. This show, I'm your host, by the way, Mike Gould, mayor of Hounds USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. I'm joined by the lovely Ashley Pizzo.
Forgot my name.
Huh?
You went to Ohio.
Yeah, I've been on the road before. I've been all over. I've been to 6 states in 5 days. My head is spinning. You see Canito? Canito's joining us. He's our San Juan rescue dog from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Our lovely camera woman, person, is filming Canito. And, of course, Brian's in the producer's box over there, whatever he's working on, all kinds of things there, technical things. So the dish on dogs. It's about dog behavior. And what does that mean? So there's a lot of books, videos, Google dog. Everybody's Googling dog behavior. So what we try to do is bridge the gap between the human needs and dog needs. And it's quite different. Even though we're all mammals, dogs' needs are much simpler than humans. Humans are complicated creatures. And they complicate dogs' lives, they complicate their own lives, let alone the dog's lives, and they project their needs, what they think their needs are, to a dog. And it's really, the biggest problem I have is if you have an autistic child or a deaf child, any type of, any person in your life that perceives and processes information differently, you'd learn about that, right? You would take your time. Do you agree with that, Professor?
I do agree with that.
That you would take your time. So autism, for those people who know people with autism, you know that autistic brain processes information differently. It's not bad. It's just different. So I would think people in your lives who have autism, you take your time to understand it. So you wouldn't scream at autistic people. You wouldn't hug them necessarily because they don't necessarily care to be hugged many times. And they react to noises and so forth. So the point is with our domestic dogs, we've been off last week we took off, right? But the week before that, we talked about the evolution of dogs.
Right.
How they've been roaming, wolves have been roaming the earth for 1 million years. Then I think they were domesticated. I forget the numbers, but they're relatively domesticated for our needs, right? Most of it's selfish needs, really. We've taken wild dogs, and we domesticated them, and we removed them from their pack, their natural pack, and we're the replacement pack. And quite frankly,
We're not good at it.
we're not good. We're bad at it. We're
Right.
bad at it. And actually, Houndstown, if you think about it, our whole business model is based on understanding the dog brain and understanding the dog needs and separating the two. And, it's pretty straightforward. Dogs are easy. Dogs are like young children. They need to go play. Young children, 3-year-old children, 4-year-old children, they're required by nature to interact with other children. That's how they develop social skills, how to, wrestling, and these are all part of learning how to interact with other humans, and dogs are the same. So anyway, we get these calls, right? My dog did this. I got a call just on the way here to the studio. A dog, it's a Collie Shepherd mix,
Yep.
about 3 years old. And the dog's nipped, bit, whatever you want to call it. Nip, bite, attacked, whatever the human words are,
Right.
right? But why do dogs bite, Professor?
Well, it's for a lot of reasons that people don't understand. So, a lot of people's first instinct is their dog has a mental issue. Like,
Right.
as if a person went and attacked another person with no clear signs, but we have to realize dogs don't talk. So a lot is body language. So they're not listening to what we're saying, they're watching our body movements, which I think don't take into consideration most of the time. So, I think that's half of your calls.
Right. And the
Is that
truth is,
reason?
right, exactly. So dogs are not psychotic. Psychosis really only lives in the human brain when you
Right.
think about it. So when people call and say my dog bit somebody for no reason, there's always a reason. You might not know what it
Dogs
is.
don't do wrong, I think, is another.
They don't do wrong, but they do things instinctively, but there's for reasons. There's always a reason. And human behavior is usually predictable. And I'm not saying I understand or we understand every time a dog does something, we can understand it, but we can usually break it down to very simple stuff. Dogs bite 90% of the time out of fear. Sometimes they have herding instincts, right? So in this case, the woman that called me earlier, Ethel, she said this dog nipped people in the ankles for the most part. So think about it. If somebody's leaving your house and a dog nips somebody in the butt or the ankle, they're really hurting them back in. So that's not uncommon. People will call up and say, my dog's great when people are in the house, but when they go to leave, when you turn your back on them, they bite them or nip them. And, so what we talk about a lot is the only mechanism a dog has is its mouth. It's canine teeth. Its canine teeth are designed to puncture other animals and kill it. They need it. We have examples of other animals. For those of you who have Facebook or on Facebook, we're here in the studio, and actually, we're going to do a little demonstration on our second break. I think it's about a 7-minute break, and we're going to go and just do some urban agility, but I can't get off course. So dogs do things for a reason. So they have a mouth. They have canine teeth. Their canine teeth are designed to tear flesh. So they're predators. We're predators. But we have opposing thumbs. So because we have opposing thumbs, we can pick up weapons. So we kill things with weapons because of our opposing thumbs. Dogs can never pick up a weapon because they don't have thumbs. They have teeth. That's it. So they eat with their teeth, they play with their teeth, and they hunt with their teeth. What do they hunt? Sometimes they hunt a tennis ball. A tennis ball is just a prey item. It's a tennis ball to us, the human, is a tennis ball. To the dog, it's a prey item, right? It's a rabbit running away, and that triggers the dog's behavior, and the dog picks it up. A frisbee is like a bird. So some dogs are bred to hunt birds, and they see a frisbee, they like to chase frisbees. So they're doing what nature tells them to do, and what we domesticated them to do. And now we have them in our house, and when they're doing things, we're getting all frustrated and anxiety, and I get it. Nobody wants their dogs to bite people. But it's not about the dog, and here's the kicker. We tell people it's never the dog. It's not what a dog does, it's what a human does in response to the dog. Right? So in my little script here, I say, does your dog hump, jump, dump, bark, chew, bite, all those things? Those are natural dog behaviors. So it's not that we know they do that. Maybe it's not acceptable for a dog to dig, chew, nip, and bite in your home. It's not acceptable. You don't want that to happen to your guests. You don't want it to happen to your children. Children, by the way, being the #1 victim of dog bites, 10-year-old children, are statistically the #1 victim of dog bites. People, why? Because they're very animated. They do things that many dogs who aren't socialized properly don't understand. So kids are jumping on furniture, they're screeching and they're squealing. So that triggers primal behavior in a dog. Dogs don't like to be hugged. Dogs don't like their paws touched. Humans don't like their paws touched. It's actually a mammalian behavior, not paws, feet. Most people don't like their feet touched. Right? You pull away. Dogs are very sensitive to touching their paws or their pads because they navigate through their world with them.
Right.
So these are behaviors. Okay, my dog's great, except when he goes to the groomer, he freaks out when he's going to get his nails done. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? A vet's office is a very stressful environment for dogs because they're being manipulated. They're not in their natural environment. So if we look at dogs compared to humans, I mean, a domestic dog is closer to a wolf than it is to a human, right? If you were going to pick two to say, what is this dog, when you would look at Canito, does he look more like a wolf or does he look more like a human? I mean, the answer is, what's that?
A wolf.
A wolf, right. So now we have to treat them and understand them more like a wolf than a human. So the biggest challenge I have, and you have, is to try to explain the simplicity of this. It's simple. It's so simple that most people can't do it. because they're Googling and they're psychoanalyzing a dog. They're telling me about their breeds. You know, if you do a necropsy of a dog's brain, there's no different, just like a human. If you did not a necropsy, what's the thing when you do with a dog, brain? You cut it up and look at it. Professor, what do you call that? Anybody? It's not a necropsy. All right, we'll have to think about this. We'll get that over the break. My point is there's no Chinese brain, there's no Muslim brain, there's no gay brain. They're all the same. They're human brain. So there's
Jackie wrote in autopsy.
I don't think an autopsy. I think Jackie's wrong. Because an autopsy is of the body. I hate to say Jackie's wrong.
Oh, you're in trouble for that.
An autopsy is of... I'm talking about the brain, Jackie. The brain. Can you check it out over the break? So this is why we love dogs, because they have a simple mammalian brain. It's not conflicted. They don't hate. They're not they don't have any of these bad things that the humans have. So we'll talk about that after the break. We're going to find out when you cut somebody's brain open.
What is that called?
Lobotomy.
What?
Someone just wrote lobotomy.
Lobotomy, but I don't know.
A lobotomy? No, not a lobotomy. That's removing the brain. Join us after the break. The Dish on Dogs, 103.9. Listen in. It's not a lobotomy. It's not a lobotomy.
That's what Dave wrote. Dave Seeley.
Dave who?
Seeley?
Oh, that's Dave. No, it's not a lobotomy, Dave. It's not an autopsy,
I'm gonna look it up
Jackie.
right now.
What is it?
I know what
I'm going to
I
say
know what it is, but
you're going to know as soon as you hear it.
A biopsy?
Not a biopsy. Not,
Everyone is chiming in here.
wow, it's not a biopsy. It's not a. Just say like, well, somebody will call in. We'll give them a free day at daycare. Whoever gets the right answer to
Mike,
this.
I feel like you're making
A
this.
biopsy is a sample of cells. You cut it a sample. An autopsy is the whole body.
when they die.
When you die, right? Well, we don't want to do any of this when anybody's alive.
Neuropathology autopsy?
Maybe I'm wrong about this. I hope not. I hate to. Let's say an
I
examination.
say you're wrong.
Say a post-mortem examination of the brain. What is it called? A post-mortem examination of the brain.
You got a woman.
All right.
We're getting
That's-
carried away.
I'm getting nervous. Anybody chiming in?
Dave said he
The
had a
government
lobotomy.
is
A
definitely.
what?
Dave said he had a lobotomy.
Dave did? I'm sorry to hear that, Dave. I need a lobotomy. Not a necropsy, because we call that...
Brain autopsy.
I don't
Just a
think.
brain
I think you might be
autopsy.
making something up.
Me?
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. Danielle's like, I'm watching my job. Maybe you're wrong. Neuropathology autopsy. That's what keeps coming up.
Autopsy? No. But just specifically of the brain.
30 seconds.
Jackie said it's an autopsy.
I don't think so.
I know what you're saying, but
I know it's a different word. Dead brain exam.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake
Is that what you wrote?
She said.
Oh, that's feels so
Jackie,
good. So.
Jackie.
5 seconds.
All right. All right.
Get ready to bring us in.
Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs, brought to you by Hounds, USA, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. We have a little bit of a conundrum here at the Dish on Dogs. So, yeah. So I believe that a necropsy is the post-mortem examination of the dog brain. I think we can agree on that, right?
Okay.
But I thought there was a different one. So now I'm being accused of fake news. I'm getting a lot of pushback from my friend Dave, who barely had a lobotomy. And I'm sorry to hear that, Dave. But anyway, so moving on. Let's say this. So I have fake news here. I'm the purveyor of fake news tonight. Unless I find out, unless the professor is working diligently on
I
this.
am. I'm really trying.
It's not. I don't think it's an autopsy, because an autopsy is the entire body. You do an autopsy of the brain, the liver, the heart, etc., organs. I was thinking of something more specific. But anyway, without any further ado, it's not important. The point is, well, how did we get on this stupid subject? We were talking about
Just the difference between the dog brain
the
and
dog brain and a human brain. So
Right.
my point is, there's no difference in a dog brain, a human brain, from It's not based on race, ethnicity, or religion, obviously, nor is a dog brain. So with a necropsy, I'm certain of that word, there's no difference in a poodle or a pit bull or a golden retriever. So when people call up, they give us this backstory on the dog, right? Because they believe that certain behaviors are specific to a dog, like terriers are supposed to be tough dogs, and
Right.
all these different things. The bully breeds, pit bulls are supposed to be highly aggressive, and Dobermans and Rotties and German Shepherds. But we don't find this to be true. Would you agree with that,
I do
Professor?
agree.
So would you agree that we see every type of breed
Yeah.
and then some? Over 1 million dogs we've taken into our system over the years. 1 million dogs, pugs, poodles, everything. I don't even know their breeds, right? I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter. So anyway, the reason I got to stay on focus, Zena said that I need to stay focused on the answer. Dogs bite for a reason. Most of the time it's fear. A large percentage of dogs that bite. And what does that mean? It just means don't mess with them. Stay away from their territory. They don't understand what's happening. If you reach for a dog quickly, children get bit because the dog don't understand children. It's not that they hate children. Hate doesn't lie in their brain, their dog brain. They just don't understand them. So if you don't want your dog to bite children, you need to socialize them properly with children.
Right.
So a lot of dogs are just not socialized, and then they come into our... You have to admit, we live in an insane world. During the break, when we do our break and we take Canito, think of an airport. I always say this, for those of you on Facebook, when you watch what we do here, an airport is crazy. There's doors. In fact, when we have Canito, and we're going to go out there in a little while. I petted him before, and I got a shock because there's nylon carpeting. So, go ahead.
So I just got a text from
Uh-oh.
my friend who horseback rides with me, and
Who?
she is Stephanie. She's a brain surgeon, and she
She's
says,
a brain surgeon.
She said there is no specific type for a brain autopsy.
Okay, free day at daycare. But I don't believe that, but no, I do. Stephanie, is she watching on Facebook?
No,
She's
I just
listening?
texted her.
Oh, all right. All right, then she don't get a free day at daycare unless she's watching. But we'll get to the bottom of that. All right, I still think there's something...
She said there's names for types of autopsies, like how the organs are removed, but not the brain itself.
All right, we've given up on that. Tell her thank her for correcting me live. I accept that. I like that being corrected. But anyway, so we're talking about dog bites, Professor.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead, continue.
Continue about dog bites?
Well, what do you see, the different types of dog? Like, for example...
Well, like you said, it's 90% fear, and it's just people misdiagnosing what's going on in that moment. So,
Right.
like we were saying earlier, they say it's a mental disease, it's, the dog is psychotic, and that's not the case. It's just people not respecting their boundaries.
Right, well, teaching them what they want. So dogs bite people at the front door. The number one place that people get bit is at a person's front door, because there's drama that takes place there. The doorbell rings, the dogs get way out of balance, they're barking, they're growling. Then the human's ritual is to hold them back.
Right, because they're not taught what to do at the door to begin with.
Exactly, they're not taught what to do. And people wait until the doorbell rings for this drama to unfold, just like people get bit on all the holidays. Thanksgiving, the number one holiday is trick or treat. What's that? Halloween. When children get bit all the time because they're literally knocking on people's doors. The dogs, most people don't get that much company ever ringing their bell. The dog gets way out of balance. The pet owner opens the door to give out some candy, and in a nanosecond, somebody gets bit, the child on the other side. Fortunately, very rarely are dog bites significant. There are, though. There are some horrific ones. We see some where children are mangled horrifically by dogs. But it's not, listen here, it's not the dog's fault. It's the mismanagement. It's like humans leaving out a loaded gun. It's not the dog. Well, how was this crazy person over the couple of weeks ago went in and got bit by a jaguar or something? Did you see that on TV?
no, I
You have the boundary to...
Yeah, so she went to take a selfie. Here's how crazy people are. So whatever your perspective is, animals in zoos, there's an argument to say they'd be dead if they weren't, whatever. But there's a jaguar in a zoo. This woman jumps a safety fence to get a selfie. She turns her back on the jaguar, and the jaguar bit her in the arm. I mean, And then who suffers from this?
Jaguar.
Fortunately, in this case, they realized this woman was just dumb, and they didn't put the jaguar to sleep. But this happens all the time. I see, people want to pet dolphins, and people want to swim with stingrays. You're crazy. You're crazy. And just observe nature. You don't have to be part of being part of being. You want to fly? Go try to jump out of a tree, fly with the birds. No, okay. All right, listen. No, but what I'm saying is, don't just observe nature. Just go sit at the beach and watch seagulls, watch all the beautiful wildlife. You don't have to become a sea lion. There's a lot of sea lions out on Long Island now.
Yeah.
Just watch them and enjoy them. Listen, all right, I'm going off the rails again.
Again.
Right. But what we're going to do in a couple of minutes, we're going to take a break. The lovely Ashley Pizzo is going to just walk around with Canito. And I want people to realize something. This was not, we never trained him. This is not But you're going to see that she's going to be relaxed. That's the key. We're not thinking too much. She's not going to be yelling at the dog. She's not going to be correcting the dog. She is going to be so relaxed, and therefore Canito is going to be relaxed, and we're going to fool around here.
Yeah.
We're not taking this seriously, and it's fun and relaxed. When you think too much, that's when things get screwed up. When you're clicking and you're screaming and you're shoving dog treats down a dog's throat, this is insanity. Insanity. I would like to think that dogs look at humans like we're crazy.
I think they do.
I was thinking once today, birds. Birds are probably the coolest kind of animal, right?
Yeah.
They look down, they can come in. If there's bad weather, they fly away.
Yeah.
They can go wherever. They eat an abundance of food. It's very rarely in short supply. If they feel bad weather's coming, they just leave.
Yeah.
Go to a nest somewhere. So they're so cool, and I just think they laugh at us because they're so, morphic.
Well, they're fluid.
They're fluid. They're
Right.
fluid. Yeah. So they're out. Seagulls are out in the freezing cold, and they're just happy as can be. So listen. Yeah. So we're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, and then Ashley, for those of you on Facebook, stay with us for the 7 minutes, and let's just watch Canito and see what he does. Anything can happen. This is like walking on a tightrope.
Yeah. He's never done this before.
WC Fields never worked with children or animals because they were unpredictable. We're going to see. I think Canito, he's from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and he's going to walk around here and see what we can do with him. So join us. For those of you who are smart enough not to have Facebook, join us after the break, and we're going to go over a few more things. We're going to talk about our charity and several other things. You're listening to the Dish on Dogs, Houndstown Radio, 103.9. Monday nights, we're live here at Islip Airport. All right, join us after the break and watch there on Facebook. All right, get to work.
Give me some of those cookies. He's out cold. Oh, now he's up here with the cookies.
Remember to talk about the actual topic. Okay. Thank you, Becky. I am an island.
You can leave it open, let it air out.
Nice and relaxed. Go ahead.
Please check with your air carrier for further information.
Now just wait a little while. Head towards me. So here you see Canito. This is crazy here. There's PA system. There's nylon carpeting that actually is creating static electric shock. So if your dog's not behaving, you might be electrocuting him unknowingly. So we're just here. Ashley is just relaxed. So let's do a little urban agility. Let's move down here. Go right up. Look and relax. The dog is happy. His tail is up. Up he goes. She goes left. Up he goes. She comes around. Put some spice into it. Put some fun into it. Watch. He's happy. Can he do this? I don't think he can jump that high. He can. Then can he go up the other way? Yes, he can. This is exciting. Then she's going to stop. And she dropped the leash. And we're going to play catch at the airport. I mean, come on, folks. And I know you're thinking that we did a lot of training here. What do you think this is? A reindeer? No, it's a distressed dying animal. This is let's make it she likes to, here comes the rabbit. Look at his ears. Bend. All right, so then go back. Look at how nice. She's going to give him a little treat, and we're nice and relaxed. So the point of the matter is, this, and then just go take a nice walk with him. Let's follow him around the airport. Let's go this way. Okay, there you go. Go ahead, do stuff. I don't know. Come on. Relax. Come with us this way. Then we're going to transfer from carpet to tile. Then she's going to make a left. See how relaxed? There's no tension. There's no collapsed tracheas here. There's no pinch collars. There's no electric collars. There's no chain collars. That's a piece of nylon. Come on now. One more time with that Joe. Okay, good. Look at that. No leash. Good. Good. And then do that agility one more time. While I go get that ball. Go ahead. Put some life into this. There's something else I want to talk about later. Okay, go ahead. Nice, kids. All right, come to a stop. Drop the leash. Walk away. See how nice this is? There's distractions. This is not a sterile environment. This isn't your kitchen. We don't use clickers. We give them a little food reward once in a while. Get low. Good boy. And remember what happened to me before. I went to pet him and I gave him a shock. Who would think that? Huh? Come on in, kids. Let's, come on.
3 minutes.
All right. So I have to talk, Jackie said, I have to talk about the actual topic.
Easier shaping behavior and changing behavior.
Right.
The actual topic.
You're going to shut that door? And what are we going to talk about next? Let's see. Good work, Canito.
You got a call.
We got a call from who, do you know?
Mike from Medford.
All right, I can take that. When we come back?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Mike from Medford. This is...
I don't know who it is.
Mike, you want me to pick up the phone from here, or are you going to do it in there?
I'll do it. I can
You
just...
know how?
I'll just hit that green button.
No, the one under it.
The A button where it says A.
Yep, that'd be the one.
Oh.
Mike from Medford. All right. Huh.
He sounds like a wise guy. Sounds like one of them good fellas.
Oh, okay. No, boy.
Is it a friend of yours?
No, I don't think so.
Nero's tired.
You can always dump him if he's crazy, right?
Yep. That's my favorite thing to do over the course of the day.
All right, good.
Just drop the crazy calls.
So do I have to pick up the phone or just hit the button?
Just press the A button.
All right. But not, we'll give it, just let me get back into this program and then we'll do it. She says you need to explain how to get these behaviors so people understand. What can they do to start this? I see.
Okay. He keeps slipping. His butt's like hanging on.
Got 1 minute.
All right. So So remind me in the third section after the phone call, we'll talk about Jackie saying how to, we're talking about set behaviors. How?
At the door and everything.
Well, just how we do it, loose
Right.
leash, so forth.
10 seconds.
Do you wish you knew what your dog was thinking?
Oh, I see.
Right place. Houndstown USA presents the Dish on Dogs.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, we did a little demonstration with Canito, our rescue dog, our Houndstown Charities rescue dog from San Juan, Puerto Rico, who, was in very dismal conditions. In Puerto Rico has a real dog problem, and we rescued him a while ago. But the point is, I think the point I was trying to make when we did our demonstration, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can have fun with dogs anywhere. You don't have to buy an agility course. You don't necessarily do an agility park. There's there's park benches and
Yeah,
steps
he had just as much fun doing this here
than anywhere.
than anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. I for Facebook, for those of you who are not on Facebook, we're going to post this on our website somehow. How does that happen?
Yeah, it goes onto our YouTube page,
I see.
Houndstown USA, and it also goes onto Houndstown Radio.
All right. So
Facebook.
we have a caller, but after the call, we're going to talk about, people, we say that shaping behavior. So how do we shape behavior? We'll talk about that.
Right.
But let's listen. Let's talk to Mike from Medford. Hello, Mike from Medford. How you doing? Dan Bongino? Dan Bongino. Who's that? This is 1039. Do you have a question about a dog? This is the Dish on Dogs. I don't know if I can agree or disagree. I try to keep politics out of the Dish on Dogs because dogs don't vote. Let's get dogs to vote. They want to make 16-year-olds vote. Why not dogs vote? Mike? Oh, you dumped him? Why, Mike? All right, there was our caller. All right, so he had the wrong show. All right.
Well, we had a proud moment. We thought we had a call.
Yeah, well, we had a caller. Holy man, I got all excited. I was, and he's looking for Dan Bongino. Anyway, that was Mike from Medford. Thanks for calling, Mike.
It sounded like he was trying to reference Jackie's last name.
Oh, Batanza. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I know who that guy is. He's a commentator on Fox News. Whatever. All right, Mike from Medford. That was fine. We need all the help we can get here. So let's get back to reality. Let's get back to Earth. So we talk about shaping behavior. That's the whole part of the show, shaping behavior. So how do you do it? So if you look at Canito when he was walking, if there's never tension on the leash, there never will be tension on the leash. So from the moment we got Canito, I don't know whether it was...
He wasn't leash trained.
He wasn't leash. He never even had a leash on. He was really more of a wild dog than he was. I mean, as I said, in these deplorable parts of the world, San Juan has a difficult... They have a place actually called Dead Dog Beach. Did you ever hear of that, Professor?
I've heard about it.
Where people abandon their dogs and they literally just die there from lack of food. It's a horrible situation. Many of the rescue groups there are doing a phenomenal job, and that's where we got Canito was actually rescued from a deplorable situation. But the point was he never had a leash on. So from the moment we had him, when we talk about a leash, we're talking about a little piece of rope.
Right.
As I said during the Facebook thing, we're not talking about pinch collars, prong collars, steel collars, electric collars. We literally put a piece of rope on the dog, and we don't, when he pulls, we correct him slightly.
Right.
So if that happens...
He never knows the leash is on.
He never even knows the leash is on.
Right.
Thank you. And if this happens every day, but we also have to understand he has phobias. Dogs have more phobias than humans do. So for those of you who project your anxieties on a dog and make them therapy dogs, Go back to the traditional medication. Take medication or drink heavily. That's my recommendation, honestly. I spent many years of my life training therapy dogs until I realized, what was I doing? What was I doing? If there's a technology, so for example, I'm 225, 235 pounds. And let's say I do have mobility problems. I have bad legs, bad ankles. Why would I make a 70-pound dog my stability dog? I can get a crutch, I can get a cane, I can get a walker. Right. So I'm not minimizing therapy dogs. I kind of am, because it's gotten blown way out of proportion, where we have these therapy dogs. You go online for $150 and show me a happy therapy dog. I got a picture of a dog I took at the airport. He looked like the most miserable dog I've ever seen in my life. It was this golden retriever. Maybe we'll post that on our Facebook page. I very rarely see happy dogs that are charged with taking the emotions of a human. Anxiety. Crazy. All right. I went off on a tangent. So talk about setting the behaviors. Like what? We set the doorbell. The doorbell rings. If the dog never barks at the door, he never will bark at the door. Continue.
So barking at the door is honestly, it's probably one of your biggest phone calls is, you ask people what their problems are with their dogs, and it's, as soon as somebody knocks on the door, the mailman goes by, and, the simple thing is just not to react to that. So if you got Canito with the, he's never been on a leash before, so he doesn't know the difference. If there's no tension on the leash, the same as if you brought a dog and never had drama at your front door,
right, they
would never go there. I have a dog, and he's not allowed in the bathroom. Just since he was a puppy, we didn't teach him anything. He just, if he went in there, we pulled him out, and he would never, to this day, will not go in the bathroom.
Right, because you're consistent.
Right.
But you can't give him food in the kitchen one day and then not. Right. So exactly. Consistently. So the same thing applies to the couch. Right. If you don't let them on the couch, or when people have little puppies, we want them on the couch. Then when they're 100 pounds, we want them off the couch. Right. That's where all the drama, this toxic vampire.
Because they don't know what they're supposed to do.
They don't know. They're so simple.
And they're trying to figure it out.
And most people are dramatic. And they're Googling, and they've gone through so many different crazy rituals. For example, if a dog was brought up in a doorbell factory, it would be a common sound to him. If doorbells went off in a doorbell manufacturing company, he'd never bark at the doorbell.
Right. So what would be the first step if you have a dog that's...
Well, the first step is, as we said, this is the point, shaping behavior is a hell of a lot easier than rehabilitating or changing behavior.
Right.
So if you start out, the dog just can't bark. He gets a slight correction at 4 months old. Don't remember, a 4-month-old dog is a puppy that's just learning, so they want to learn. But you have to be a leader, not abusive. We don't even talk to dogs because dogs don't talk. Right. So as you were doing your demonstration, you were extremely relaxed, and therefore the dog was relaxed. If you were tense, the dog would be tense. Tense meaning if you tighten up on the leash, it's unnatural for a dog to be tethered to anything.
Right.
So when we do this, we leave a leash and collar on. When I go to people's houses, I don't care if the dog's 4 months old or 4 years old. The first thing is a leash and collar is on, and the dog drags it around their house. Right. And when the dog does something inappropriate, goes to jump on the couch, a little correction. If you don't want the dog in the bathroom with you, which I completely understand, you don't allow him in that room. I don't like dogs in the kitchen. Sometimes it's a necessity, the dog, the way a house is laid out.
Right.
But if you don't need a dog, so this is so simple. And it's so simple. We talk about turbo dog training, and we call it that because it's so simple. I like to say that most people can't do it. That's how simple it is. Because so many people are used to talking to dogs, looking at dogs, shoving treats down the dogs, yelling at the dog, sit, stay, down. This is all crazy sounds. So if you had a deaf child, you wouldn't be screaming at it. You would frustrate the child. Right. So the only way to communicate to a deaf child is learning sign language. So I guess that's the most amazing thing to me. Most of our clients are very intelligent people, and they're loving. They want to do the very best for the dog. They buy the best food. They go to the best veterinary care they can get. They do all these wonderful things. But the one thing they don't do, almost universally, is understand the brain of a dog, the mammalian brain, and what its needs are. It's analogous to understanding a polar bear. You wouldn't bring, I've used this before.
Right.
You wouldn't bring a polar bear to Fort Lauderdale, right, and put him in the Everglades, nor would you bring an alligator to the North Pole. They wouldn't exist. But somehow we take these puppies, we remove them from their natural pack, excuse me, we remove them from our natural pack, and we bring them into our crazy, dramatic world. And it's really toxic.
Right. So, going forward with the
Yes.
setting these behaviors, the same, I think it all comes down into a huge thing, which we've talked about in previous episodes, is the crate training. So,
Right.
to minimize drama, if the dog just went into their crate when any of this drama went on, the same thing when you were talking to Ethel earlier. If you have company over and you know your dog isn't good with people, new people coming in and they bite their ankles, why wouldn't you just put them in
Right.
a crate when you have company over?
Right, exactly. So after the break, what we're going to try to reduce this down to is 3 ways, just 3 simple ways that we talk about that people right now can start changing the behavior of the dog. Simple things, if you can follow it. It's not going to be dramatic changes, but subtle changes. And I have 3 ideas that I just came up with as you were speaking. So you're listening on the Dish on Dogs. We have one more segment,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk about modifying a dog's behavior as simply as can be. Simple, simple. Join us every Monday night, 103.9. Stay with us after the break to the Dish on Dogs.
So Corey wrote in
Who's Corey?
our marketing, Corey
Oh, yeah.
from the conference. He wants to know, what do you do with a dog that poops and pees in the crate no matter what?
Crate dirty. That's what it's called. I don't know if we're going to answer that. Is he watching live right now?
Yeah, he commented it. Yeah.
Okay, so Corey, it's a little bit of a different problem because once a dog becomes what we call crate dirty, meaning for whatever reason, whatever their conditions were, they couldn't help themselves and they relieved themselves in their den, in their crate, which is counterintuitive, but you don't poop where you eat, right? So it's a difficult problem. So sometimes you almost have to reverse things, and again, it's of course everything is fixable. So actually, you might want to you're going to have to set up a situation where you have the dog in the crate, but he also has an area outside the crate to relieve himself. I'm going to have to talk to you. This is a little bit more complicated.
1 minute.
Again, it kind of ties into what we're talking about. If this was done when he was 4 months, and I know you rescued your dog, which is fabulous. But it's a little counterintuitive. But we're going to talk a little bit about that, but that's a little complicated. But I can certainly tell you how to deal with that. I think you're a good man.
30 seconds.
You're a good man. Let's see. All right, we got to stay focused. Do you have a kennel lead there?
Yes, I do.
All right.
You want it?
So for those of listening, good work, Danielle. You're
Thanks.
wonderful.
10 seconds.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. I'm joined here with Professor Ashley Pizzo and our wonder dog, Canito, our rescue dog from Puerto Rico. So I guess a couple of things we want to talk about, because Jackie's texting with 3 ways. So how do we implement this? So this is talk is cheap, I guess, and this is very true of dog training, right?
Right.
Talk is cheap. You could read books, you could watch videos, but nobody gets anywhere. I go to people's houses, they got a library of books on DVDs.
Everything.
They've read every book, they Googled everything. But it's the action. A lot of this is analogous to riding a bicycle. This is the way I see it. So riding a bicycle, you don't have to know the manufacturer of the bike. You don't have to know how it operates, gears and chains and everything. You know that you get on it, take some practice, but at some point you just relax, you look forward, you pedal, and you're off. And that's it. That
The
magic.
basics are universal.
What's that?
The basics.
The basics are universal, but it's about relaxing. You can't stare down at the ground. You can't stare or you fall off. So dog training is analogous to that, I think. but we're consumed by dogs in a way that there's not one other animal on earth, pigs, birds, snakes, or nobody is consumed more emotionally and physically than by dogs. So the first thing we do, for those of you on Facebook, we have just this piece of nylon rope. It's called the kennel lead. And I'm going to demonstrate what I mean. So we want to set behavior, right? We want to set behavior. So Ashley is going to be the doggy. There's her hand, right? So here I am, 2 fingers, nice and relaxed. So I'm going to correct bad behavior like that. So if she pulls away from me, I snap and she doesn't. That's it. And then I praise good behavior. Good girl, good girl. So I praise good behavior and I correct bad behavior. So when your dog is running around your house, your 4-month-old dog, if it jumps on the couch, you're just going to jerk that and drop it, and it's done. And then we're going to say good dog. So it's very easy to set behavior. And I guess really the way to do it, really, for those of you who aren't watching on Facebook, is go to our YouTube channel and Google Houndstown. And you'll see thousands of examples of it. So and then the other thing we tap into is crate training. So dogs are social pack animals, but they're also denning animals, which means not only do they want a place to go to den into a small place, they need it. So if you see dogs in the wild, they tunnel into very tiny little spaces under rocks, so you can't even see them, and that's where they're most comfortable. So crate training is an absolute essential part of what we do. And I think what surprises me most, or surprises our clients most, is we tell them that the only place a dog gets a morsel of food is where?
In their crate.
And they shake their head yes, and they understand that. So I say every morsel of food. And they can understand that you give them treats in their crate and so forth.
But then they're meals.
But when we say to them, put their meals in the crate, they look at each other, they look at me like I'm the man from Mars. So when I say every morsel of food, I mean our dogs in our world never get food except if they're in their den. And that includes their regular meals. If you feed them once a day, twice a day, whatever it is, the dog goes in first, then the food follows, not the other way around. We don't lure dogs in with food, right?
Right.
We give them a little sound or snap our fingers, point to the crate, the dog goes in the crate, followed by food. And that includes his meals. And it could be anything. You want to give him a piece of your pizza or your meatball hero, that's perfectly fine. But that's the only trick for treats we do.
Right.
The only one. And it's not a trick. It's actually a natural behavior for a wild dog to den.
My dog runs in there if he hears us open the fridge.
Right, exactly. And it's probably one of the easiest behaviors to do. So if you want to, so I think what we try to do is simplify this. So you saw us during the break, we did our agility training. And we're training Canito as we speak. Why? There's people going by, he's not barking at them. And if he does, we'll correct him. But he's not. And he doesn't know what the hell. We're like in a glass bubble here. We're like in a fish tank. And there are all kinds of people going by with luggage. And luggage, these pull carts look like animals to a dog, right? They're on wheels, they're moving along the ground. But we taught Canito not to chase things from the moment we've gotten him. And now he doesn't chase things. So if he started barking and we didn't correct him, he'd be barking.
Well, he would think that's an acceptable behavior.
He would think it's an acceptable behavior. And not only that, he would think that if he does bark, for those of you who have dogs that are looking out the window and barking at the mailman, barking at the skateboards, bicycles, when the dog barks, those things all disappear. So the dog thinks his barking created that. The dog thinks by him barking and growling, he's protected what he thinks is his house, not your house. So when he's jumping up, when your dogs are jumping up on the couch, looking out the window and going ballistic. And I will tell you this, with only a few minutes left, right now it's March, right? The dogs that were 6 months old 6 months ago are now a year old. And if they've been barking out the window, very soon, if not this weekend, there's going to be a lot of more activity outside. There's going to be 57 degrees. What does that mean? That means people are going to be riding bikes. They haven't all winter long. They've all been inside. They're going to be riding bikes. They're going to be skateboarding. People are going to be walking baby carriage. Your dog is going to become insane. And if he gets out of the front door, not all dogs, but those that are barking aggressively, the hackles are up. If they get out the front door, they very well may bite someone. And my phone is going to be ringing off the hook. In April, I'm going to get the phone calls with all the tears and drama and crying, which I understand. But this is the time to fix it. Don't wait. I get calls the week before Thanksgiving, people asking me to try to train the dog not to beg at the table. Right? This is crazy. It's simple, right? So, and you don't have to wait. You can pretend. You choreograph these things. You don't have to wait till company goes up. When we go to people's houses, I just go ring the doorbell constantly.
Yeah.
After a while, the dog looks at us like we're crazy, and he goes, lays down.
Right.
I hope that satisfied the very lovely Jackie Bundanza, who's listening from afar. So the 3 ways: don't look, talk, or touch.
Right.
Just try that little thing. Just try going home or later tomorrow. When you come home, don't look, talk, or touch. When you wake up tomorrow morning, don't look, talk, or touch your dog. Just go about your business. Make yourself a cup of coffee. Don't get sucked into the dog whining. The dog tells time by your behavior. He has to adapt to you, not we adapt. I have gotten so many calls. People say, my dog wakes me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. That can't happen.
Right.
That can't happen. The dog, it has to adapt to you. And we do this, when I say has to, this is so low-key. This is not heavy-handed. This is about relaxing. Houndstown USA, houndstownusa.com is a way you can find out about all of our 17 locations throughout the Northeast. And as I said, I think a good way of doing things is take a picture of that. So just to show the insanity of with the camera. All right, you missed it. My videographer was sleeping over there. No, but to see people, what's that?
I thought you were taking action.
No. All right, so what my point was, we're in this bubble here, and people just feel they love dogs, right? So they feel no problem coming up, touching the dog, petting the dog. But think of that as if you have a child, a 2-year-old. If somebody came up to my granddaughter, Adeline, and started pinching her cheeks or getting into her face, I'd kill them. So, but dogs were somehow, we allow that. And we don't understand why people get bit in the face or bit in the hand. All right, aggravation already. So we're running out of time here. Houndstown YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and Google Houndstown USA. You'll find out. Next week we'll be live again on Facebook. And I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but we're going to be talking about something good.
Yeah. So your tips for the training.
Tips for training.
No look, talk, or touch.
Don't look, talk, or touch.
No feeding the dog unless they're in the crate while you're...
Don't give your dog any food unless he's in his crate, ever. And don't let any of your children, relatives, only dog get food in the crate. And you'll see just that. Then get back to me next week and we'll discuss this. But what's a third tip? And then leave a leash and collar on the dog. That's tip number 3. To correct the behavior. Bad behavior correction, good behavior love.
All right. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. All right. Let's get out of here.